War, W-A-R, war. I woke up this morning, like I always do, thinking before I open my eyes, and war just popped into my mind. And then I went on this rampage about what it means and what actually becomes of it, or comes from it, or what good comes from it. And I'm going to start this with the question to the questions rather for the historians that happens to be listening. Give us the name and results of any war that brought peace, that peace came from it. And I don't mean somebody got some land, somebody got some gold, somebody became in charge, someone got what they wanted in terms of human rights. I mean peace. I mean peace. What peace came from any war that has happened in our lifetime and before? I'm just curious to know. And I asked that question, with the assumption that I have the answer, and which would be none. But I really want to be corrected on this. And then I would like to know what those people did, if there were people, because it could have been some animals, because they tend to be a whole lot more humane than we are. What people who accomplished that, what did they do and how did they get it? If they got peace after a war, if it happened. Now, I mention that because I'm not really interested in physical wars as much as I am interested in mental wars, mental ways of being, behavioral things that we do, that we fight against, that we march against, that we protest against, whether it's in our neighborhood or in our country. And what about the war that's between you and your brother and or your sister? You have a disagreement. They did something, you did something, they said something, you said something, something happened, and now you are at war against them, or they are at war against you, or you're fighting each other in some kind of way. And my question is, how is that coming? Are you winning? Are you getting peace from it? Is it working for you? And if it is, I'd like to know how. Because to wage a war is to be full of war. To decide I'm going to hurt someone with my hands or with my words suggests that there is more going on inside of me than it is between the two of us, or the three of us, or the groups of us. Are you at peace? Is it bringing you peace? Think about it. Somebody you have a problem with, or somebody has a problem with you. That is war. There's two people against each other about something. My question also is it working? How is that working? Are you getting what you really want? And do you know what that is? Or would you know what it is if it came to you? If it actually happened, which you got it after you're done fighting and warring and protesting. What are you really after? Would be a question I would ask as well. What are you really after? Do you just want to hurt me? You just want to see me hurt? Do you just want to prove to me that I'm not who I think I am, and that you are more than what I think you are? What I don't understand what you're really after. We already know you can't legislate somebody's love. It does not happen. And while, if I could just use a civil war as an example, look at what has happened, and has peace really come? Has it? I mean, usually that's what you're fighting. You're fighting for something. Did you get everything you wanted? And if you think you lost, what do you think you lost? I'm just concerned about how we treat each other. I'm concerned that if we don't find another way to deal with our differences, to manage our differences without involving everybody, people who are not even interested. I do not care. I do not care about what somebody else is doing to somebody else. What I would care about though is finding out that they figured it out and they worked it out. I would love to say XYZ person knows how to love because they did not fight XYZ group for what XYZ group did to them or didn't do for them. I would love to say that. I look forward to that. And I guess because we're humans, we take forever to learn things. How many times really does a snake have to bite you for you to realize it's kind of like that's what they do. And of course they're not biting you just to be biting you. They're biting you because maybe they feel threatened or they sense that you have these ideas about who you think they are, and therefore they are in danger. So they strike. That's just one way to look at a snake's reality or perspective. But when you know how to love, that's what you do before you launch out, before you wage a war, before you protest. You take a look at me, you get a sense of my energy, and you say, okay, what am I missing because this doesn't feel right? And then you say to me, what am I missing because something is not right here? You don't have to tell my sister or my brother, my friends, what you think about me. You can ask me what is happening or what they think about. You don't have to share that unless you just want to fight just to be fighting, unless you're so used to fighting to that's all you know. And then I have to ask you, how is that working? Are you getting what you want? Are you getting what you really want again? And do you know what that is? And when it happened, would you know that it has happened? When you know how to love and you want to stay connected to those that are in your life or in the world, then you find a way to peace first. That's your first point of action. And that means you come to me, you go to them, and you say, this is not working. There's something is wrong here, and help me get it. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. And most likely you are, but that doesn't mean that they're not either. And it will be their responsibility to say, no, you're not missing the mark here. It is me. And thank you for asking. I didn't know what to do. And now let's fix it. And then you walk away in peace. I just thought about an example. Will Smith had a problem with the first Aunt Viv, and I guess she had a problem with him. I don't know. I don't know the story. I don't keep up with this stuff. I heard about it. Didn't know what had happened. I did hear him say once that she wanted the show to be the Aunt Viv show. That was his perspective. I never heard what she thought. But what I did get to see was him acknowledging whatever his fault was, and she acknowledging whatever hers was, and they loved each other out loud, in person, in front of everybody. That's what I like. That's what I would want to see. And I say I like it because it feels better. It feels so much better that it feels like peace. And that's where I'm headed. I don't know what you're after when you fight your brother, your sister, the people at work, at school. I don't know what you're after. I just have questions. How does it feel? And when you stand up to the bully, how does that feel? And when the bully says, I wasn't bad, I was wrong, how does that feel? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. War is not going to ever end unless we find a way to disagree peaceably and peacefully. Peacefully. It's never going to end until we learn how to love and how to practice it. How to practice it. Peace, I believe, is what you really want. But I can't tell that by the way you act.